Welcome back down the lineup. Here on my own today, and this is probably what's going to be like for the next 3 weeks, as I am not in the US and my co-host Sunny is working on a project. So, these next 3 weeks or so, it's just going to be me doing some recaps around the league, and then doing some insights depending on what happens in the next 3 weeks. So let's get started with the recap. The Orioles took 2 out of 3 against the Yankees. The Blue Jays were swept by the Red Sox. The Dodgers swept the Rockies. The Angels split against the Dodgers. The Tigers swept the Braves, or were swept by the Braves. The Astros split against, or the Astros took 2 out of 3 against the White Sox. And then the Mariners lose 2 out of 3 to the Guardians. Um, Among these series, I guess the biggest one of note is the Orioles taking 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. The Yankees have lost three series, and the division lead is only 1.5. And then the Braves are getting back on track. They swept the Tigers, and then they took 2 out of 3 against the Yankees. So I'd say those are like the series of note. Um, so for the weekly awards, I got Justin to send me his. Both of us have Shohei Ohtani as our player of the week. He went 458 with a 458 batting average, 4 homers, 11 RBIs, one stolen base, and 26 total bases. Yeah, Shohei just had a great week. He dominated 2 games against the Angels, and overall in the week, he put up monster numbers. 26 total bases is insane. Batting 458 is also insane over the week. I think there's no doubter for Shohei. And then for my team of the week, I have the Cardinals, who went 4-1 in the week when they split against Miami, and then they swept the Giants. I think the Cardinals are kind of getting it together, especially in the NL race where any little separation could be the difference. Um, I think it's really really key that the Cardinals, as an older team, veteran team, um, get it together and like look look better and have that experience as it comes like later into September and hopefully deep into October for a team that might be on its last run. And I think having this 4-1 week and sweeping another one of the contenders in the Giants is very important into like the rest of their season. And then another team who's kind of getting it back together, Justin has the Astros. They took 2 out of 3 against the White Sox and they swept the Orioles. We all knew the Astros would take some time, and they would get rolling soon, and this might be the time where they get it rolling. Pretty simple series against the White Sox, took care of business, and then they swept one of the top AL contenders in the Orioles. The Astros might be back. This could be the start of their run. Um, Getting into the next week preview, my series of the week is the Guardians versus the Orioles, two teams near the top of the AL standings. It's gonna be a great battle. Hopefully, we get a close series, but if it's a sweep, it could be the calling sign for one of the teams to make a move at the deadline and fix the holes. And then Justin has the Orioles versus the Rangers. It's a playoff rematch of last year. So we're gonna see, do the Orioles get their revenge? Do the Rangers, kind of go beat them again, go back to back series wins against the Orioles, this time with less stakes. So we'll see about that. The upset series of the week I have is the Mets over the Yankees. The Yankees have struggled against left-handed pitching, and they're going to face two left-handed pitchers. And then the Mets, the Grimace Mets are hot right now. The Yankees are scuffling right now. So I'd say that's a potential upset pick, as much as it hurts my heart to go against my Yankees. And then Justin has the Rockies over the Astros. So I'm guessing he thinks the Astros are going to fall back down, um, potentially in the series against the Rockies, who are not a great team. And then his lock of the week is the Phillies over the White Sox. Pretty simple. Um, yeah, pretty simple little pick there. Or his pick is the Phillies over the Tigers. One of the best teams in MLB right now in the Phillies, and Tigers are hovering around 500, so not a really surprising pick. They're 5 games under. And then I have the Rockies over the White Sox. I haven't used the Rockies yet, and I don't see another series where I might use them. So I figured why not use them this week, even though this is a series I could see the White Sox winning. Um, some news: Edwin Diaz was suspended 10 games for foreign substance. Um, I think after seeing what was on his hand, I don't think, there's a doubt that there's something on there, whether it's just rosin, sweat, and dirt, or something else is yet to be determined. But, only Edwin Diaz knows what's on his hand. But MLB, put down the hammer, said 10 games for Diaz. So we'll see how this one plays out. But I expect, Diaz to serve his 10 games and nothing to really get said about it. The Blue Jays prospect, Orelvis Martinez, suspended 80 games for PED use. He's the second prospect to be caught using PEDs behind Noelvi Marte. And I just think, it's unfortunate that these prospects are resorting to PEDs. Um, I think, obviously as a prospect, you want a shot. And sometimes, you decide, hey, the PEDs are worth it if I can get my shot. So, it's unfortunate for him, but it is what it is. Tough break for him and the Blue Jays system. And then the last one is Willie Mays passing away the week at the game Rick Wood Field. Um, the game at Rookwood Field is honoring the Negro Leagues and African Americans that, helped shape our game. And Willie Mays is one of those key figures, many moments, basket catch, one of the best center fielders and then one of the best hitters, in Giants and MLB history. Um, it's just, something that like I think being the week at the game, I think it really like helped that they were able to honor him and honor him in a special game like that. So, you know, rest in peace to Willie Mays, prayers to his family. But I think MLB did a great job honoring him at the game at Rick Wood Field. Like I said earlier, these 3 weeks are gonna be pretty short episodes. It's just gonna be me kind of going around the league. So for this week, I'm just gonna go around some of the stats, leaders, and some players of note. So MLB leader in average is Shohei Ohtani, and the AL leader is Bobby Witt. I think, if Ohtani does end up leading the league in batting average among other stats, I think he could be a primary DH to win the MVP, one rare one, and especially in the NL, never been done. Um, the home run leader right now, Aaron Judge at 28, Gunnar Henderson at 24, Ohtani's at 23, and Marcell Ozuna has 21. Judge's been on tear ever since that slow start in April, but ever since he got ejected, he's been on absolute fire, just mashing, slugging. Um, the Yankees are in a slump right now, but Judge has not been terrible in the month of June. After his killer May, though, it is a little down, but you can't expect anyone to go repeat what he did in May. Um, Kind of going back to Gunner, he's having an insane season at the leadoff spot. I've seen that they've moved him down a little bit to see if they can get more production, more runs with his homers. But, I really like Gunner at the leadoff spot, especially if you have Adley behind him and, some of the power guys, Mountcastle, Santander can kind of get it together. I think this Orioles lineup is very dangerous. The RBI leader is Judge. Behind him is Jose Ramirez and Marcell Ozuna at 64. Ozuna's putting together a great, amazing season. Um, I don't want to say underrated because he's gotten the spotlight on this Braves team, but he's carried this Braves lineup without Acuna and without Michael Harris. And Ozuna's gonna be a dark horse. He might not even start the All-Star game because Ohtani's at his position, but he could be a dark horse MVP candidate if he continues his production. Stolen base leaders, Ellie De La Cruz has an 11 stolen base lead. He has 37. Second is Bryce Terang at 26. Third is Jose Caballero at 24. So, Ellie's kind of running away with this one, and it's just gonna be like a race to see how high he can get in stolen base totals and what kind of insane, numbers he can put up from the stolen base after what we saw from Ronald Acuna last year. On base percentage, Soto and Judge are leading with direction profile Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman and Shohei Ohtani behind them. So, I mean, the two teams that kind of made the biggest moves in the offseason Soto and Judge are the Yankees duo, and they're both at the very top of the on-base percentage. And then Betts, Freeman, Ohtani, the big three at the top of the Dodgers lineup. They're fourth, fifth, and sixth respectively, with Jurickson Profar between. Jurickson Profar is another guy who just having an amazing season, batting 319, 40 RBIs, producing in the middle of that Padres lineup when he's not the guy you expect to be at the middle of the lineup, but that's what he's become. Slugging, Judge leads in slugging, Ohtani's second, Gunner's third, Ozuna's fourth. So, the home run guys that you expect to see at the top of slugging are at the top of slugging. Luis Arraez leads the league in hits, continues to mash out 4-hit, 5-hit games. So, his move to San Diego has really paid off for the Padres as they look to make a push. Um, Jaron Duran leads the league in triples with 10, Anthony Volpe and Bobby Witt are second at 7. Um, Duran plays in a ballpark where his speed can be used, especially if you can get a high fly ball. He can make his 30-foot bounces. So, yeah, not surprised that Duran is leading the league in triples. Soto leads the league in walks. Judge and Schwarber are behind him. And then you got Betts and Freeman behind the two sluggers. So, Soto drawing walks. We know his amazing eye and doing the solo shuffle a lot, I guess. Ellie De La Cruz leads the league in strikeouts. Behind him are Nolan Gorman, Will Benson, and Paul Goldschmidt, so pair of teammates. Um, One thing that surprises me is how much the NL leads in this. Of the top 10, um, only two of them are in the AL, in Brent Rooker and Julio Rodriguez. I'm not sure what that is, but I guess the NL striking out a little bit more. Um, Moving on to pitching, Ranger Shores leads the league in ERA. This Phillies rotation continues to be insane. Behind him are Tanner Houck at 2.14, Ronel Blanco at 2.34, and Corbin Burns at 2.35. So, Corbin Burns is someone we expect to be there. Houck and Blanco kind of burst into the scene. It remains to be seen if they continue this low ERA. In terms of wins, Seth Lugo, Chris Sale, and Ranger Suarez are in the lead with Luisio, Sonny Gray, Carlos Rodon, and Zach Wheeler at 9. So two Phillies there, two Yankees there, um, and uh, Chris Sale and Seth Lugo. So Seth Lugo's kind of come out of nowhere. After being a reliever for most of his time with the Mets, he's become a starter and dominated. And Chris Sale, who was dominant in a period of time, has kind of gone back to that dominance and became that ace that the Braves needed in place of Strider. Our strikeout leaders, Tyler Glasnow at 135, Garrett Crochet at 124, Dylan Cease at 116, and Michael King at 109, tied with Cole Riggins, who's also at 109. Two Padres there, so a couple of great arms in the Padres rotation. Garrett Crochet is a guy who we might be seeing move at the deadline, but puts up high strikeout numbers. And then Glasnow, even though he had a one extra game, still racking up the strikeouts with his insane stuff that we know he has. Ryan Helsley leads the league in saves with 26, Emmanuel Clase at 24, Kyle Finnegan at 22, and Raizel Iglesias at 20. So Cardinals playing a lot of close games. Helsley kind of closing them out. Finnegan on the Nationals is interesting. Guess they're playing a lot of close games, being higher than expected. Finnegan's taking advantage. And then Iglesias and Clase, both teams who have high win totals, so they're going to get a lot of opportunities. Glasnow leads the league in WHIP, with Wander Suarez and Logan Gilbert right behind him. And then Chris Sale and Garrett Crochet round out the top 5. I kind of want to bring up Logan Gilbert here. Has had an amazing season. 5-4 record doesn't show for it, but 2.71 ERA, leads the league in innings pitched, which we'll get to later. 99 strikeouts and a 0.89 WHIP. He's been a star in the Mariners rotation, even though he might be the third starter. He's producing like an ace. Batting average against, Ronald Blanco and Luis Gil are tied with Tyler Glasnow, Zach Wheeler, and Sonny Gray rounding out the top five. So a lot of familiar names here, a lot of names that are going around a lot. Um, so shows you the Cy Young race is pretty tight. Um, yeah, Lucio had a sub one opponent's average before a start against the Orioles, which kind of raised that. And then Ronald Blanco's been great all year, kind of boosted by a couple of no hitters or no hit bids, one no hitter and a no hit bid. And then Glasnow, Wheeler, and Gray are all top pitchers, top star players in the NL, so we're not surprised there. Like I mentioned earlier, Logan Gilbert leads the league in innings pitched. Logan Webb is second, Seth Lugo third, and Nestor Cortez fourth. Logan Webb, the ace of the Giants rotation, and even without Snell, he's produced. So if Snell gets back, maybe, the Giants can make a push. And then Nestor Cortez, he seems to always be going deep into games, even though he's not a shutout pitcher. He gives him depth, which can be valuable in its own way. And then Max Fried leads the league with two complete games. Fried's been dominant all year, so it's not surprising that he's had multiple complete games. Looking at some defensive stats, Ellie De La Cruz leads the league in errors by a margin, so maybe that's something he needs to run out of his game. His strikeouts and errors need to decrease, but his stolen bases and homers are great for his game. Um, Anthony Volpe leads the league in innings. I'm not sure if that necessarily means anything, but I guess he's staying in games and playing games out. Um, some other defensive stats. Caught stealing. Cal Raleigh leads the league in caught stealing with 20. Will Smith at second. Um, Nick Fortes at third, and Logan O'Hoppe tied at third. Um, some great defensive catchers. Cal Raleigh, we know to have a great arm. Will Smith also known to have a great arm. So just kind of bring up like some of these guys, some catchers, give them some love. Logan O'Hoppe's allowed the most stolen bases, but he's also top five in caught stealing. So it's a mix of both things. Um, yeah, that's about it for the stat leaders. Um, All-Star voting started. We can get into that really quickly before we get out of here. Um, so Aaron Judge and Bryce Harper are leading the AL and NL respectively in voting. Currently right now, we have, pull this up real quick. We got, so Aaron Judge in the outfield. For the AL, we got, hold on. So right now, um, yes, bad podcasting with a break, but at first base, Ryan Mountcastle is leading with 1,400,000 votes. Vladdy second, close second, with 1,338,000 votes. So Mountcastle is currently leading in the American League first base. Second base is Altuve with a wide lead of almost 60,000. I think Altuve does deserve it. I think he is the most deserving candidate, but I think Marcus Semien should also get in as the reserve. For the first base, I think Mountcastle deserves it. Josh Naylor deserves a vote, I think, but I think Mountcastle deserves to start. At third base, I think it's easy. It's going to be Jose Ramirez. He's leading by almost by 600,000 votes. So I think it's going to be Ramirez as deserved. Surprisingly, Jordan Westbrook is above Rafael Devers by 200,000. So we'll see if that stands. But only the starters are voted in, so reserves are chosen by the coaches, I believe, or the media. Um, the biggest debate, Gunnar Henderson or Bobby Witt. Gunnar Henderson currently has 1,551,000, while Bobby Witt has 987,000. So Baltimore fans are showing out and um, voting him into the All-Star game. Um, it's a really close race. I do think Gunnar deserves it. I think both should get in. I think both will get in, but I think Gunnar deserves a start. I think he just puts up a little bit better stats than Witt. But I wouldn't be mad if either one of them were to be starter. In the outfield, Judge, Soto, Tucker, and Stephen Kwan is a close fourth, with Santander, Cowser being fifth and sixth. I think the top three are pretty set. Judge, Soto are over 2 million votes, and then Tucker's at 1 million vote. Maybe Kwan gets in because he's at 973,000. But I think it should be Judge, Soto, Tucker. Those are the three basically MVP candidates along with Witt and Gunner. So I do think they deserve to be in and starting. And then the catcher is Adley Rutschman, who I think is the obvious choice, but Salvador Perez, he is second. The only two catchers really getting votes, and I think Salvy's gonna be the backup, but I think Adley deserves to be starting. And then Jordan Alvarez is the designated hitter. Um, I don't think this one's very close. Stanton's getting votes, but he's injured. I think he's gonna miss up to the All-Star game, so I don't think anyone but Jordan's gonna be the guy. In the NL, Bryce Harper leads the NL in votes, with Freddie Freeman behind him, almost 700,000 behind. I think this is Bryce Harper's position to win. I think he deserves to be the All-Star starter. He's having a great year. He's 18 homers with a 955 OPS. I think he is the most deserving candidate for first base All-Stars. At second base, we got a close race between Ketel Marte and Luis Arraez. Um, in my opinion, I think Arraez deserves to get in, even though he's second right now. He's about 50,000 votes behind. But what Arraez is doing with the Padres lineup, I think with the team success being higher than what Ketel's at with the Diamondbacks, I think both deserve to be in, but I think Arraez kind of helps the Padres lineup a little bit more, is having a better season than Ketel. Um, so yeah, in my opinion, I think Arraez is the one who deserves to start there. At third base, Alec Bohm leads the position by a wide margin. He's at 1,900,000, while Manny Machado at second is at 545,000. So Bohm's going to get in. He deserves it. He's having an outstanding season. Nothing for me to say there. At shortstop, Mookie Betts is leading with Trey Turner, Elly De La Cruz, and Willie Adames behind him. Mookie has a 600,000 vote lead. I think he's going to get in. Trey Turner, I think, missed too many games, and Elly is too inconsistent, in my opinion, to get the starting nod. In the outfield, Jurickson Profar leads with Christian Yelich, Teoscar Hernandez, and Fernando Tatis behind him. And then after that, we have three Phillies actually: Marsh, Castellanos, and Rojas. And then Bellinger and Ramos rounded out. I think Profar, Yelich deserve to be there. Teo is an interesting one. I think he also deserves to be there, but um, Tatis, I could see the fans kind of rallying around. Um, the three Phillies is interesting. I think this is just the big city, big Philadelphia bias, and I don't think all three of them are going to get in. I don't know if any of them are going to get in the All-Star game. And then at catcher, William Contreras leads with 1,400,000 votes. And I think he is the guy who deserves to be in. He leads the NL catchers in batting average at 293, and he's second in homers. So I think Contreras does deserve to be there. Will Smith is surprisingly low. I thought he'd be second, but he's about 50,000 votes. Actually, about 50,000 votes behind JT Realmuto. So, and interesting, Realmuto's missing time, but I think, William Contreras is at the top. So I'll say that's who deserves it. And then last but not least, Shohei Ohtani leads the DH for the Dodgers, from the Dodgers. Marcell Ozuna is second. I do think Marcell Ozuna deserves to be in the All-Star game for sure. And I think he also deserves to start, but I don't think you can move Shohei out of there. I think Shohei's been the NL MVP so far, and there's no way the NL MVP doesn't start the All-Star game. Um, I'm also interested to see which pitchers get selected, but that's for the coaches to decide. That's gonna wrap up the episode. Like I said earlier, I'll mention it once again, but this is what it's gonna be like for the next 3 weeks, and I'll see you guys later.